Alright, welcome back YouTube. So today I was just going to kind of do a really quick video over kind of like what to expect for the meta. So I'm going to give you 10 decks of stuff that you could grind with on the rank ladder and just kind of go over like what are the top, best decks that you could use right now for climbing. And so for tier 1, it's pure Paladin, Undead Priest, Mech Paladin, Totem Shaman, Frost, Death Knight. Those are, same thing from last season. Those were still the top decks that are being played right now. And then for tier 2, which is actually kind of interesting, it's kind of changed a little bit now. Hybrid Hunter's at the top of tier 2, Blood Death Knight's slowly making its way down. Meg Mage is up, and then two new things, Spell Demon Hunter and Big Demon Hunter. Now, Spell Demon Hunter was kind of like starting to come up towards the end of last season in Legend rank, and in the higher Diamond, like I played against it a couple times. But Big Demon Hunter I haven't seen at all. And it has a 54% win rate right now with, what is that? Over 19,000 games played, so the deck is legit, and this is something that you guys could definitely give a shot if you have the cards for it. I don't know if it's worth like going out of your way to craft some of these cards if you don't already have them, but if you want something interesting to climb the ladder with, Big Demon Hunter is something to look at. Fatigue and Warlock's win rate has gone up since the buffs to all the fatigue from the fatigue package. So if you had those cards and you like playing Imp Warlock, it's up to 53% win rate now. Last season was at about a 48% win rate, and so it's went up a bit. Big Druid's still about where it's at. Outcast Demon Hunter's still about where it's at as well. And Rage Warriors also went up in usage rate as well, and win rate too. 8,000 games played with about a little 50% win rate. With the new buff to Thor Balor, as well as some of the Rift stuff. Let's see, I don't think they run any of that stuff in here, but this is basically like I would say it's probably a mid-range deck because, you want to curve out really well, get value out of all your minions, and then, get into your big stuff here too. So I assume in-range Warrior is probably pretty solid to play as well. The Rogue decks, Pirate Rogue, Miracle Rogue, they're both still up above 50%. Cursed Imp Warlock is a little bit worse than Fatigue Imp Warlock. I'm sure it's because it's a little bit more aggressive. I'm sure the meta right now is way more aggressive. Right now because it's at the very beginning, so after a couple weeks they'll probably slow down a tad bit. But Menagerie Warrior, Thaddeus Warlock are, their win rates kind of went down a tad bit too. Unholy Death Knight, but they're still decent decks to grind with too, especially if you play them quite a bit and you just kind of know the ins and outs of the deck. Burn Mage has gone up in usage rate as well, which is good. Same deck there too. Secret Rogue has gone down a little bit. Dancing Paladin's at a 48% win rate. Rift and Roll Warriors at a 46% win rate, which I don't think that's, I think it's probably where it's at. It has 26,000 games played. Best matchup, worst matchup, yeah. So if you're going up against a lot of pure Paladins, don't play this deck. I am going to actually plan on playing this deck today as well, because I wanted to try it out with all the new buffs to the Rifts, because I actually haven't used any of the Rifts yet in Warrior, and I don't know how well they're going to do. But yeah, Rainbow Death Knight, Light Show Mage, Light Show Mage, Overload Shaman, they're still kind of the worst decks to play right now. But overall, they're, you can still play them, still grind with them. You could still win games with them, but, the more consistent decks, YEsvcEs you don't want to do by win rate because that's always going to change. You see this one only has 250 games played, and we don't know what rank that's at, so it's just a general number of 250 games, So it's always better to look at the games played because that's what's going to be the most consistent to look at. But yeah, Big Demon Hunter's up there with 8,000 games, so I'm going to be planning on playing this as well, just to try it out. Same thing with Spell Demon Hunter too. But I'll go ahead and link all the decks in the description below, so you could copy and paste them and try them out if you'd like to. Yeah, so that's just a little meta overview for the decks you could play. I also got them right here too, so we kind of go over them real quick. But Undead Priest hasn't really changed at all. This one's a more aggressive list. There's been some other like more mid-range versions of Undead Priest that's been coming to light as well. Pure Paladin, same list as always. Nothing's changed with it with the new season either. Frost Death Knight, still the same list, although this is the more average list that's being used and has a good win rate. I think it's definitely worth noting to play where's it at? Might of Menthol. in the deck as well, and you could probably play that over Constructing Quarters too, because the freezing effect is a little bit more useful, I believe, right now, especially if you're going up against, you know, pure Paladin or even the mirror match. Being able to freeze their board too is really necessary, maybe over Acolyte of Death, but it's always going to be a personal choice when it comes to this. But I think Might of Menthol is something that shouldn't be overlooked to be played in Frost Aggro Death Knight. But also, Overseer Frigidara got the nerf to its stats. I personally think that the nerf should have went to 7 mana, and, you know, also change the stats to it as well. Just, you know, slow the deck down by like a turn or two. But it's still, you know, a lot hasn't really changed with it. Another thing too is the Quillbore guy. Let's see, where is he at? The Rowdy Fan. This card has been recently nerfed. It went from 4 attack down to 3. This isn't in the deck as well, but if you want to, you know, be a bit more aggressive, you could also add that to the deck too. Acolyte of Pain and Construct Quarters are typically the ones that get taken out, and added the Rowdy Fan and then Might of Menthol too. That's just something to be aware of if you want to play that version of it too. Blood Death Knight. This is still the, you know, the most basic list. Construct Quarters recently has been used. Dirty Rat's been added to the deck too, so you can, you know, make those adjustments to what you want. I know No Hands Gamers kind of made the more what's it called, more, you know, consistent version of this deck. So if you want to go to his channel and check out which one he was using, it'd probably be better to look at that list too. But this is just the average one that has, you know, the most win rate, or the most games played. Totem Shaman. The list hasn't really changed either. It's still, you know, curve out. You try and get the value out of the Murlocs and cheat them out, and then, you know, play your thing from below, Gigaton Totem, and then, you know, this list doesn't have Bloodlust in it, but you could add in Bloodlust too. You know, you could probably take out one Schooling or Totemic Evidence and put in Bloodlust too, or even the one Gorlock Ravager. You don't need to, because there's not very many Murlocs in the deck. Spell Demon Hunter. This list, something I'd really consider running is Going Down Swinging too, as well as Deal with the Devil. This is a more aggressive list of it, or it's a more aggressive list. Running the Felurn, God, I can't speak right now. The Forgotten, Lady Sathino, as well as Silver Moon Arcanist. I do personally like running Zymox in the list as well. So it might be something to consider, because you have the Warband here that it's really easy to, you know, infuse it as well. And then also something to kind of take into consideration is the Relic package as well. The Relic package I feel is also very, very strong in No Spell Demon Hunter, as well as Deal with the Devil, because the lifesteal, if you're going up against really aggressive decks, is a good way to, you know, come back a bit with it as well. Also Metamorphosis is not a bad card either. Yeah, Relic of Phantasm, all the relics are really good. Yeah, and Relic Vault too. Yeah, so that's just something to kind of look at for the deck as well. Emulation Aura is really strong as well. Yeah. Then for Big Demon Hunter, I think the list is pretty good as it is. It's, you know, it's just heavy control oriented. You save your Silver Moon Arcanist, and your Unleash Fel. Something on the list too is the Emulation Aura. I think this card is very, very solid, especially against the Paladin, because it deals damage twice. It's not just one big, you know, deal all damage to once. So this could get through the Divine Shields very easily with this deck, or with this card. So I'd consider probably running this in the deck as well. You can make adjustments to where you feel comfortable with it. Hybrid Hunter. I've kind of always changed this list. This is the most average one that everyone uses. I personally don't like Posic in the deck at all. I typically like running the new Stranglethorn, or the new buffed Stranglethorn Heart. But, you know, collateral damage is also really good, especially if you're able to, you know, consistently, you know, kind of, you know, deal with the aggro decks. And if you have this on turn 8 and you're able to go through their wide board and just deal damage for, or kill them for lethal, collateral damage is something to consider as well. Let's see, I don't think there's anything else I want to highlight for the deck. You know, Shell Shot's probably not bad to consider. Deadly Shot's not bad to consider as well. You could also consider running zombies in the deck, because it could remove a minion or two, and then also have a couple left over, you know, depending on their stats. Explosive Trap is also something to consider. You could probably consider running the spell package with Hybrid Hunter too. You know, you do have a really strong early game now with all the with a bunch of bananas, the Trinket Tracker, Aerosmith, Barrel Monkey. So you do have already a really solid package to control with. But it's always something to consider depending on your play style. Rift and Roll Warrior is probably one of the harder decks to play because you have to, you know, be very specific on when you want to use it. It's a control deck, and then you kind of outvalue them with your big minions, right? But you know, picking the right time to use the Rockmaster Voon to, you know, duplicate Ziliax, Flesh Shaper, Lorthamar, Living Blade, Trendstalker, the Naga Giant. It's just, you know, always, you know, picking the right time to use it. But something to note is that there's only, you know, one of these in the deck as well. So, you know, if you're going to hide behind a really big taunt, you do have a lot of ways to pull it out of the deck as well. You have Course Drift 2 to draw a minion, so you have a lot of like consistent ways to draw stuff when you need it. But it's a harder deck to do. It has a lower win rate, but it has a higher win rate as you go up through the ranks. So right now, it's probably not a good thing to grind with it if you're starting like right back at the very beginning. I'd say probably a more aggressive deck like the first 4 that I mentioned. Maybe you could also use like the Blood Knight as well, but Rift and Roll Warrior is still very, very good. Thaddeus Warlock is also a good one to consider running too. You have really good control elements in Defile, Drain Soul, Fellstring Harp to get back HP when you tap or play the Hellfire. Surge Supply with a lot of draw, and you're just able to slowly grind up. You have taunts and a lot of lifesteal in the deck, so it still is very strong to, you know, consider. But yeah, here's my, you know, meta-analysis video. Let me know in the comments if you guys are trying out any other decks or if something is working for you in the ladder. Like and subscribe.